Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR, the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode of The Grandstand, we're basically going to do this as a response to Langley Outdoors Academy, his video from a couple hours ago about Second Amendment Preservation Act here in Ohio. So, this is about, the fourth or fifth time I've had to call this dude out now for not knowing proper things in the state of Ohio where I live. I've done it at least like 3 times on this channel when it was called something else, and then I've done it at least twice now underneath the open moniker. So basically, first and foremost, Second Amendment preservation is not new in the state of Ohio. We had introduced the bill last General Assembly in 2021, give or take, and it never went anywhere. Mostly because of the fact you had a bunch of rhinos in the state that didn't want to go anywhere. So, in reality, little quick history lesson. Go back to 2019, the Dayton Massacre back in August 2019. About a week later, I was federally swatted, over some bullshit that was said. I'm not going to get into details of what it was. Everybody knows the story from here and there. So, basically, that's where my journey began when it came to 2A rights and, Constitution and stuff like that, constitutionalism and whatnot, what have you. So, anyway, fast forward from August 2019 to around November 2019, give or take. You had a few days after Dayton Massacre, a bunch of Democrats try to push a bunch of unconstitutional bullshit. It's the same crap that they've now tried that they're now pushing through Michigan. Red flag laws, universal background checks, all the Moms Demand Action, Bloomberg created trash is what it is. And so basically, what happened was you had myself and a bunch of other people start doing grassroots movements to actually work on 2A sanctuary stuff at county levels, is what it was. And then from there, it basically spawned into a whole thing between all of our grassroots movements and Chris Dorr from Ohio Gunners and his family, who are, I don't like to, talk shit on people, but they're pretty big fucking scumbags. I'm gonna say it like it is, dude. They're grifting assholes, is what it is. And they were trying to undercut us because they couldn't make any money off at the time. And then, of course, fast forward about a year or so, Shamdemic shut down everything and stuff like that. And then Chris started talking to federal lawmakers, specifically Marjorie Taylor Greene and stuff like that. Realized he could actually make money off of it, and then was all on board with it then. And then basically that's where we're at now. The legislation that's been introduced into the state house a couple times now is by Ohio Gunners, Chris Dorr specifically. It was his people that created it, is what it was. And I shouldn't say created it, because really what it was is they literally took Missouri's Second Amendment Preservation Act, did a copy and paste thing like Bloomberg and MDA does all the time with anti-gun laws, and then just kind of threw it into Ohio here, reiterated a little bit, and then did what needed to be done to update it, is what it was. So that's pretty much where we're sitting at right now. That's what was more or less introduced last year, but I think it was like a weaker version of it, is what it was. Like it was more broad brush version versus the one that they worked on a little bit here over the past few months and have introduced in this current General Assembly, which is what has now had 2 hearings on it. You had the second hearing the other day with a bunch of MDA all bust into the Columbus area and stuff like that, like they always are on a Tuesday afternoon to have, claim to be volunteers, but you're not volunteering when you're being paid to be there, is what it is in the story. And they basically went down there. They were all testifying against it. You had, I think, some proponent testimony for it, but it wasn't a whole lot, again, because you're a fucking Tuesday afternoon trying to have everybody that's actually working a 9 to 5 be there. And it's like, this is exactly why, honestly, these General Assemblies need to meet on Saturday afternoons, dude, period. It needs to be like, no, you meet on a Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning, whatever the case be. And that way you can have actual American people in these states that actually do work 9 to 5s Monday through Friday, be able to come down there on a Saturday and be able to testify in favor of this stuff. Because that's the thing. Like, they want to sit there, MDA and Bloomberg and all these other paid shills want to sit there and shit talk and be all like, oh, but see, we're the opposition here and we totally have all these people in this chamber today. That doesn't matter. Because real people that actually have an actual 9 to 5 and aren't being paid to be a bunch of anti-gun fucking cunts don't give a shit about your stupid fucking feelings. ladies and gentlemen that are a bunch of cucks, is what it is. Because we actually work for a living, and we actually can't get down to Columbus and get a day off in the middle of the freaking week, is what it is. So yeah, that's pretty much why there wasn't a whole lot of people that were for it, except for some pro-gun orgs like OGO was there, obviously, because DOR, again, gets this whole job is what it is right now. I would have personally been there myself had it not been for a giant snowstorm that basically kept me from getting down there, is what it was. But and that and the fact I didn't know what was going on is what it was. And that's another problem too, by the way, is you have the state lawmakers that'll put out like a bunch of stuff, whatever the case be. But if you don't actually talk to them like directly, like if you have to leave messages on the machines and stuff like that, you can't actually get a hold of their various I'm trying to think what those people are called now. Their little aides and stuff like that. The aides won't even give you the freaking legislation in emails and stuff like that. So it's like, if you don't know what's going on, you have no fucking clue what happened until after it happened, or you look on some, Facebook, Twitter, whatever the case be, and there's like an update of like, oh, current Second Amendment Preservation Act stuff going through right now, and it's like, what? And then you look at it and you're like, oh, they're actually testifying on it right now. And I'm like, what the hell? And that's pretty much what happened now to me, honestly, in the last couple of days now. So, yeah, basically, this is now the second attempt for the General Assembly of Ohio to put through Second Amendment preservation now. And hopefully it's going to get through. We've already had 2 hearings. We're going to have a 3rd hearing at some point here. I think it's in the next week or 2 is what it is. So as far as I'm aware, it would pretty much be getting to the point now where they could take it to a actual floor vote at some point in the future, whether it be to the House side or the Senate side or whatever the case be. I think technically it would be in the House right now. Would be I think the next step would be obviously this 3rd hearing, and then it would be a House floor vote then, and then it would just go over to the Senate side and stuff like that. And we'll see what happens there. And the thing is, like, the way that the state house makeup is right now, obviously we've had the House divided, and now it's kind of being rekindled and stuff like that with the Republican Party here. The thing is, though, I don't believe that they wouldn't vote it through, honestly. Where I'm very hesitant about is the Senate side right now, dude, because you still have that piece of shit scumbag Matt Dolan over there. You still have that asshole Kirk Shearing over there, who's fucking leadership at this point, who's done nothing, who's never in office, who's never fucking gotten back to me ever, every single time I call him, who has some of the most useless fucking aides ever in there, specifically a guy named Caleb is one of his biggest ones. The guy's a scumbag. He never actually gives my damn messages to Shearing at all. And yeah, Shearing is one of these people that would rather sit there and do backdoor kickbacks and bribes and stuff like that to get various sports gambling legal in the state of Ohio so you can make a bunch of money off of it, is what it is, instead of actually working on two-way rights in the state. So it's just very frustrating and infuriating. Thank God that dude is gone after 2026. Well, at least on the Senate side anyway. I'm sure he'll probably try to run for re-election here in 2024 or something like that on the House side or some shit, dude. Or maybe just wait out his entire term is my guess, and then just flip-flop the General Assembly again with somebody in the state house side is what it is then, like they all tend to anymore. But anywho, so yeah, basically this will be the second iteration of the Two-Way Preservation Act that is currently in our General Assembly. It is a much better, more like streamlined version that actually would pass, I believe, compared to the one that was the last go around that I talked with my state rep about. And he's like, yeah, we're not going to take that up because of the fact that it's like, it was a whole thing where they were like, oh, it would basically be like too broad brushed or whatever. And they would think that like anybody has the power to do anything pretty much in the state. Where in reality, all it is basically saying, hey, federal government, you don't have the ability to come in here and take people's shit. You don't have the ability to come in here and do all kinds of tyrannical stuff against the state of Ohio is what it is, dude. And then you got Ohioans' gun rights is what it is. You can't take our guns because they have pistol braces on them. You can't take our legally owned, legally possessed, magazines. If there's a mag ban or something like that is what it is, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway. And of course, not only that, if you actually read the legislation overall, it has done a lot of stuff in the state of Ohio to actually up our own state constitution, because currently the way that our state constitution is, I don't know, again, we still haven't found out who the fuck did it, but it was basically back like 80s or early 90s, some fucking retards decided it was a good idea here to basically be a bunch of lazy fuckers and sit there and basically enshrine federal gun control, aka the NFA, into state law. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? And that's pretty much one of the main things that we're trying to get rid of now with the 2A Preservation Act. It would basically be a mix between not allowing federal overreach into states, but it would also be to get rid of all this federal garbage that's currently in our state General Assembly, in our state constitution, that should not be there to begin with, is what it is. So I'm hoping, like, fingers crossed, that this will actually get through at some point. I don't know how long it'll be, honestly. Like, given the fact that it took us over a year to get constitutional carry last General Assembly, I wouldn't be surprised to see this not go through until, like, May of next year, honestly. So I would say pretty much presidential primary time would be the time for this to pretty much be, close to passing and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. It's hard to say anymore, but yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. And like I said, I really just like to give Brandon shit from Langley Outdoors Academy, because again, the guy, he does just enough. He does just enough to act like he actually knows what's going on, but he just doesn't know enough, dude. He just doesn't do that little bit of extra research and actually contact somebody at the state level like myself to tell him what's up, is what it is. So it's like last year when he was talking about us doing constitutional carry, didn't realize we had two different constitutional carry bills going through either side of the chamber, is what it was, dude. So yeah, that's a big no-no, bro. Like, you gotta do better research than that, man, and realize, like, nah. And it's not even that hard, bro. Like, seriously, we're gonna talk about that right now, actually, before we finish this up, actually, today. So literally, there is a site on the internet called legiscan.com where you can go to it, and you go down to the bottom where there's all these different states, and you click Ohio, and then you type in stuff on the text, or you look through the bills that have been introduced here and stuff, and you actually find the different ones. And that's how easy it is, bro. That's what you use. Unfortunately, it seems like it's weird because they keep having these ones now that has it's like all the primary sponsor stuff instead of actually putting the bill text there anymore, which is just odd. So I don't know if they're not updating properly or what's going on there. It's just strange. That's happened in the past week or so, it seems like. Because usually if you actually have the bill text, you can actually tell, like, who's going to primary sponsor it and stuff like that. Like, this one's a bunch of Democrats, obviously. I'm still not sure what 114 is about or not, because it doesn't actually have a name for anything there. So, but yeah, it's a bunch. It's very interesting though, either way. But the entire point I'm saying though is it's very easy to figure that stuff out, dude. And you can do that for every state for that matter, Usually, if you're going to look up into that kind of stuff, though, it would have to be, it's either labeled as like permitless carry, or it would be like firearms would be another one to look up into. And usually that brings up a lot of bills and stuff like that. So it's either anti-gun or pro-gun stuff, depending on the state and whatnot. So anyways, but yeah, it's very simple. It's very simple to do the research if you want to actually look into actual research and stuff like that and get it done properly, versus, sort of half-assing it and then just being like, oh, but this is how it is, or whatever the case being. It's like, no, it's not how it is, bro. Like, get it right the first time around so you're not getting called out later for it, is what it is. So anyways, but yeah, like I said, that's what we're doing right now. We basically got a couple things going here in Ohio besides that. So we got the SAPA thing is the big one this go around, this General Assembly. And then the other ones, we are trying to redo our stand your ground law to actually be stand your ground, which is get rid of the civil lawsuit crap, and it is what it is. And then the third thing is to basically, I believe, clean up a little bit of constitutional carry to get rid of Terry stops, is what it would be then. So that's pretty much the Pro 2A stuff for Ohio currently. Of course, you've had Democrats now in this past couple months now, since they've redone the General Assembly now, reintroduce bullshit, just garbage legislation to try to, repeal our constitutional carry laws and stuff like that. But it ain't going to pass. It ain't going to fly. It ain't going to get anywhere past this General Assembly, dude. We are a Republican supermajority. It's exactly why you have these damn Democrats that are now trying to do a 420-something thousand signature deal to allow for abortion to be enshrined to our Constitution, because they know they can't get it passed through a General Assembly because they're never going to have it be that way. And that piece of shit Casey Weinstein, who I've talked about before on this channel many times, I'll talk about it again right now, his fucking cuntable wife, Amanda Weinstein, had the audacity on Twitter here a couple hours ago to basically bitch and moan about, like, oh, went out to this random county and to sign the petitions for abortion rights. And I forget how she put it. It's something like reproductive freedom is how they're putting it now, or some crap like that is what it is. It's like, no, it's not reproductive freedom. You're literally killing kids in the womb. And on top of that, you're also trying to transition children underneath this sick ass fucking legislation, you sick fucking demon pieces of shit. And we're not going to have it, dude. And if this does happen to pass all the way to an actual amendment, dude, I will sue the fuck out of this state over that whole thing, dude, because I'm not letting that crap become state law ever, is what it is. I am not letting it be enshrined to our Constitution ever in my life, period. So, anyway, but yeah, she had the audacity to basically bitch and moan about it and all that stuff like that. And it's like, we all know your husband hates himself, lady. We already proved that we don't want this bullshit because we chose to elect a supermajority of Republicans here. And it's as simple as that, really. So, anyways, but yeah, that's pretty much where we're at for today. Most likely Honda will be doing his chat later on tonight in a few hours, and I'll be on that panel. Obviously, we'll probably discuss some stuff. I'm gonna hopefully, depending on how many people are on the panel, obviously I'm gonna try to jump in and talk about this stuff and whatnot. But who knows? But anyway, there's a lot of other stuff going on. Obviously, we got Michigan's gun control going through this week. We got, various rulings happening tomorrow over the Bruin decision and stuff like that in New York and a few other different places. I'm not sure if it's a circuit court up there in New York or if it's like a couple different circuit courts across the various states is what it would be then. But either way, there'll be a bunch of 2A rulings happening in the next like 24 to 48 hours or so. Of course, like I said in the last episode, you got the potentiality of Trump being indicted in about 48 hours or so, give or take, over some BS that Soros DA Alan Bragg is trying to bring through is what it is. And yeah, it's a bunch of shady shit going on, honestly, dude. Then you got morons like Billy Baldwin basically calling for violence against Trump supporters and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, good luck to you on that one, buddy. Good luck to you and your idiot fucking family on that one, Billy Baldwin. Anyways, but yeah, other than that, that's pretty much where we're at for the day. Like I said, I'll be on his chat if he has one tonight, and then probably be back either tomorrow or Tuesday with some stuff, depending on how I'm feeling and what's going on. Really, is what it is, because I haven't been feeling great, honestly, the last couple of days. It's just weather changes and a few other things, and not fun when you wake up with body aches and you go to bed with body aches, and then you literally are trying to sleep with body aches, and yeah, you don't get real rest is what it is, man. And it's fucking horrible. And that's how I've been feeling the past couple of days. So, yeah, really not fun. So, anyways. But, anyway. And then, of course, with the good old gamer stuff, we got Season 4 is about to start finally in that game. So that'll be fun. And that's another reason why I probably won't be on tomorrow, honestly, because I'll be doing Season 4 stuff a little bit then. But, yeah, we got, about an hour right now from today's reset, and then it would be, I want to say about 5 or 6 hours from now is when they're going to be doing a maintenance update. So we'll actually be able to be in the Season 4 after that. That's what it'll be then. So, but yeah, that'll be fun. So I'll probably be doing another gamer chat at some point in the future then as well. But other than that, that's where we're at for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this update. And yeah, hopefully Ohio will continue to be a 2A state for the betterment of the Constitution is what it is. And we can finally start getting rid of these oath breakers in this state, honestly, dude. Start with the damn Democrat Party entirely, because they're all a bunch of scumbag motherfucking Nazis is what it is, dude, legitimately. And they want to basically destroy our rights and destroy our way of life and oath break as much as possible without being arrested. And enough is enough of it, honestly. And it's as simple as that, really. So, anyway. Till later. I will see you guys in the next one.